Well, that was quite the day at Mohawk. Wow. I would assume most of you were tuning in live. If you didn't, by now I'm sure you've seen the videos. We had a tremendous qualifying day. We ended up bringing 18 over. We had 3 that were sick. Be My Delight needed a splint crowd, plus she was coughing yesterday. Linnea was coughing. So Pine coughed. We had the harness on him ready to go to the track, and he was coughing, so we just took the harness off him and gave him the day off. We brought 18 over. All 18 qualified, and some of them looked tremendously good. So a lot to talk about this week. As happy as I am now, I wouldn't say pales in comparison. I'm always excited when the babies start racing, but the show that Lawmaker and Cruising in Style put on last night was nothing short of incredible. I mean, yeah, I guess wins would have been better, but for a Lawmaker to finish second in 52, his first start of 2018, not just coming off the shelf, coming off an injury, was really something else. And then Cruising in Style come out, was a hard closing third in 153. I think he tried a 154 flat. Now, people said, oh, well, he's full second slower than Lawmaker. Okay. Ben Bergeron's Cold Alarm Detector won the race, and the guy that was second, the one ahead of me, and he just won the Breeders' Crown last year as a 2-year-old. So arguably 2 of the best colts in North America right now were first and second. Cruising in Style was third in a 10-horse field. So Cruising in Style was incredibly good also. Unfortunately, drew the 10-hole in the final, and Lawmaker drew 5, which is good. Kind of jammed in the middle of some good horses. Jammed in the middle of outside of Wolfgang, who beat Lawmaker last night, and Alarm Detector, who beat Cruising in Style. Lawmaker is just north of them in the 5-post. The 2-horse is another tactor trainee that has a lot of tactical speed. So as a driver, I'm looking at probably getting away 4th behind somebody who's likely going to pull. I can't imagine that Tactor's 2-horse there, Hill Street, is going to release Alarm Detector easily, if at all. So the race is shaping up to be a great race for a Lawmaker if he comes out as well as he did last night. So that was last night. Not to mention, I rushed up to Grand River before, I didn't have enough on my plate with Lawmaker last night, Cruising in Style. I went to drive Pay the Line Blue Chip in race 1 at Grand River Raceway, who won, new lifetime mark. Very, very happy with that. And then I got to watch on TV as Master Saver, who was 0 for a year and a half, doubled up, won last week, first lifetime win, new lifetime mark last night at Grand River Raceway. Maybe it wasn't a new lifetime mark. I think it was. Anyway, regardless, he won. So 2 weeks, 2 wins in a row for Master Saver. Promise Blue Chip made a little break. We'll talk with them later. It's been just I don't have to tell you. It was a pretty low stress, low key. Not a lot bothers me. It's like water off a duck's back most days. It just is what it is. We put the work in, and we hope the horses perform. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. That's racing. That's what makes us love this game. So, driving up to Grand River last night to drive Pay the Line Blue Chip, coming off a break, was obviously in the bigger scheme of things, it wasn't that stressful, but it was. Watching Master Saver, a horse that made breaks for the better part of a year, race without me driving him was a little stressful. He won. Driving Lawmaker, coming in absolutely blind, having no idea if this horse would be able to progress into the horse I thought he would this year. Trying to qualify. His qualifier was adequate. It was okay, but it wasn't like good times okay. It wasn't like Breeders' Crown, Hambletonian okay. It was 55. I got beat by some condition horse of Dag Finn Hendrickson's. And not take nothing away from that horse, but I don't think he was regarded as a fabulous trotter. And then coming in and finishing second in 52, and man, oh man, just a great feeling. A great feeling. And then having Cruising in Style go out and race the way he did was just a cherry on top. And it's been a great 48 hours for us. It's been an okay 2018. We've held our own. They had some ups, had some downs. But Cruising in Style and Lawmaker are horses. Those were our kingpins from last year. These are the horses that they're tent pegs for this year before the babies got going. And it was nip and tuck. So I guess they silenced the critics last night, so to speak. Now, Lawmaker didn't go out winning 51, but how could he? You know, he could beat fair and square by a horse coming off a qualifier, same as he was. But these are the best horses in North America. Sure, there's a few horses scattered around, still racing in the States and stuff that aren't up here for the good times, horses that'll be in the Hambletonian. But I think Lawmaker proved he belongs racing with those horses. Cruising in Style's no slouch. The one thing I mentioned to everybody about Cruising in Style is he's got that big, sprawly gait to him. His barrel, his belly. He just, I can't fathom how he can create enough energy to sustain that gait. And the more I think about it, not only is he a good 3-year-old, he's going to be a tremendous 4-year-old. You know, I had one of our clients come up last night, and I was telling them this very thing, and it was Mark Treffy, and he said, oh, I'm glad. And he said, we were worried that you were just going to sell him after his 3-year-old year. Maybe I'm not clear all the time. I'm not just trying to buy a run and gun, win and sell, and, stable. It's always fast moving. It is fluid. We have a very fluid stable, but fluid in a different way. We're trying to build something huge. We're trying to build a dynasty. We're trying to build something that can be looked back upon. To do that, that's not easy. It doesn't take a year. It doesn't take 2 or 3. It takes 10. I'm trying to put together some great horses here. Lawmaker and Cruising in Style, hopefully, the tip of the iceberg. For us, to the general public, the tip of the spear. That's what we're trying to build here. So no, I have no interest in selling Cruising in Style. I mean, we'd sell him if we were offered a lot of money for him. I have no interest in selling him just to say he's sold. That isn't what we do at the stable. We don't operate with the same parameters that some of the other fractional sites do. So no, Cruising in Style in my mind isn't going anywhere. And the reason that we have that private sale board is so that if people become stale, they don't want to be a part of the Cruising in Style stable, sell some shares. That's why we did that. Now there's obstacles that come with that, but we're dealing with those also along the way, and many of you know what I'm talking about. So the way to get people involved, the way to keep people coming back, the way to keep people interested and wanting more and wanting to be involved in this industry is exactly what we built. So no, Mark, we're not selling Cruising in Style, and no, we're probably not selling Lawmaker. We'll sell horses if we need to sell them. We're trying to build something huge. And to do that, it takes a lot of horses, takes a lot of manpower, takes a lot of speed. So, again, fantastic 48 hours. Definitely the best 48 hours of 2018. Fell right on my anniversary nonetheless. Last night was my Amy and I's 6th anniversary. So that was special. That was cool. We got to win with, Pay the Line Blue Chip. She's making it tough to sell her. She won my 3,000th lifetime win and won on my anniversary. So, she's making it tough to get rid of her. So we Pay Line Blue Chip. We did great 48 hours. So it's been great. So, without further ado, we're gonna jump right in here. We're gonna go through the racehorses, and then I know everybody's excited to hear what I thought of the babies. My take on the top list. Now this week I changed it up a little bit. I came out with a top 10 list of top 10 horses that qualified today. It'd actually be 11. It had to be 11. It was only fair. So I went with the top 11 horses that qualified today. Then I went with the top 10 I think we still have in the barn. My top 10 that I think are the top 10 in the barn. And as you saw today, all you people that thought I was full of shit all year and said, oh no, he knows, somebody knows who the best horse is. Yeah? You tell me where See You in Tuscany come in. Tell me where See You in Tuscany landed on your list. Because he was right around 35th or 40th on mine and just went out and obliterated his first lifetime qualifier. 55-4, last half, and 55-1, last quarter, and 27 seconds flat with the whip over my back. The horse is I didn't see that coming. And unless you have a Ouija board or something at home, there's no way you saw it coming either. Anybody that says, oh, I knew he could do that, you're a liar. The breeders out there, Mark, you're out there saying, oh, I knew he was a good horse. You didn't know he's going to qualify in 55. I can guarantee you that. But, you know, here's the funny thing. He's by We Will See. For those of you who've been around for more than a year, you remember Real Willie last year? How much disdain I had for that horse all year. Ran all year. Was horrible training down. I didn't even want to go with him. And I was the majority owner of him. And I didn't even want to go with him. It wasn't until he put his nose on the gate in June. Schooled good. Qualified good. Still to this date, after a year and a half of racing, the slowest mile that horse has ever recorded was 57-2. When you make that noise when you tap the brakes, it means you get too much shit in your car. My daughter's bike helmet. Anyway, whatever. So yeah. I'm going to give you my top 10 lists, but keep in mind, you never know until they roll up in behind that gate. You can never say for certain this one can do that and this one can do this. I just proved it this morning. Nobody saw that coming. Not me, not you, not anyone. So it's going to be a really interesting summer. I got some real interesting lists here. They changed a little bit. Obviously, CEO in Tuscany is on top of both of them. I'll be a little spoiler on that. How can he be? Probably one of the most impressive 2-year-old qualifiers I've seen in my life. Now, there's a lot of horses going fast. As I'm talking to you, one of your partners, found some of you, and one of our clients popped up. Heston Blue Chip qualified, Philly qualified 53-3 today at the Meadowlands. Okay, the Meadowlands is the fastest track in the universe. It's like it's downhill the whole way. So that's great. I'm nothing away from her. I'm sure she's a nice filly. But I personally have never seen a horse qualify in 55 that easy. Last half and like 55-1. Are you kidding me? Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. I'm going to run through our racehorses quick with you. Tell you about the week we had, week Kevin had, week Jason had, week the horses had. And we're going to run through our 2 top 10 lists this week. Top 10 list for the horses qualified. Top 10 list for the barn. Then we're going to run through them all. I'll be right back in a minute. You'll get to hear it all. Well, I did something a little different this week. You know, we've been changing it up, the top 5, top 10 list. I mean, it's getting close enough now. You're getting a real good look at the horses. So, I put 2 lists together today. Top 10 horses that qualified. If you didn't qualify, you didn't make the list. Top 10 qualifying horses from today, which was 2 days ago for you. And then top 10 overall. Now, a lot of our better horses that I hold in high regard have not qualified yet. Now, they still have to qualify. They still have to go behind the gate. They still have to look good. So I can give you a little spoiler right now. See You in Tuscany is number 1 on both lists. Number 1 easily with that ridiculous mile today. 55-4, last half 55-1. Last quarter in 27 flat. Barely spoke to him the whole mile. Where that came from, your guess is as good as mine. This We Will See breed, they're a little crazy, eh? You know, Real Willie did this to us last year. Looked like a clunker all year, and then get in behind the gate. And now, obviously, he didn't wow everybody like See You in Tuscany just did, but wowed me, and showed some grit last year. Come out swinging again this year. Might be looking for a few more We Will Sees next year. Anyway, we'll start with the first one. Top 10 horses I saw today. Now, it's not 10, it's 11, because 11 horses belonged on this list, and that's how many I put on. So, I guess they all, I guess numbers are numbers, but number 11 was Yes. Won his qualifier. He could have been higher up the list, looking at the list easily. Really impressed with this colt today. I got away in the 2-hole with Cruising with Angus, and I almost removed it. I'm like, no, I'm just going to leave Yes up there. Leave him up there to do his work. He's a little lost on the front end. If you watch the video, you can see him kind of goofing off on the front end, and then when they come out of the last turn, boom, he was gone. On the left line a little bit. I don't think it's anything major. He wears a Murphy blind on the left. Probably just put a line pole on the outside and race Yes like that. You're not going to do anything invasive or look for any issues that are going on. What I saw and what Jonathan saw, jury that drove him, was a horse smart and having fun on the track. Didn't really see any issues. I didn't see any either. So we're not going to go looking. Simply going to put a line pole on the outside of yes. Probably either requalify him or race him in a week or two. But very happy. 2-2 last half in a minute. Last quarter in 29 seconds. Couldn't ask for much more from the big boy. He looked great. Number 10, Screaming Hawk. Now, it's not really fair. Screaming Hawk was like 5th or 6th. And yes, won his qualifier. I'm going on about what James said. James told me when he got off the bike he was thoroughly impressed with Screaming Hawk. He got in behind the gate. You got to remember the Angus Halls, they're a little cuckoo sometimes. And James put his nose on the gate and he looks over and he goes, I probably shouldn't have done that. And he was starting to get a little hot and a little grabby. The gate sped up and he just took him right off the gate, dropped him in a hole, run up a couple of times on people in front of him, kind of run him into a blind switch, come charging down the lane, and had some pop on the end of it. James said, no, he had some kick on the end of it. He was good, this horse. He went a mile and 2-2. Last half, I'm going to guess 59-29, same type of thing. But James was really impressed with him. So I give him a nod into number 10. I guess it's a little unfair to Yes since he won his qualifier, but whatever. That's the way it shook out. And the next horse also. Yeah, Yes gets screwed over here. He should be up around 8, 9. Number 9, Majesty Boy. James went with him also. Said he was very good, did everything he asked him to do, and did it right. So, another horse with a good mile. He only won a mile in 2-4, I think. I'm a half in a minute, so that's not fair. Yes, it's going to be number 9. Oh, well. Majesty Boy did everything right and looked good doing it. I asked James, he on the line? No. Aggressive? No. Did all his work, finished up good. Couldn't ask for much more. Maxwell Plum, Jody just let him saunter along. He's number 8. Let him saunter along on the outside. Didn't even clear off the front till the 3/8 pole. And Jody said to me after, he goes, I never saw Jonathan coming yet. He said, so I would have won, I think, only I didn't see him coming until it was too late. Jonathan kind of vaulted off cover and pounced on Jody, a professional driver. Did not see the other 800-pound horse coming to the right of him, Brown, but whatever. Maxwell Plum looked awesome. 2-1. Last quarter in 29, last half 58 and a bit 59, maybe a minute, I don't know. He looked good though. I was really happy with him. Bay Jewel, number 7. Here's the thing. Bay Jewel usually is not comfortable on the front end, but I get in the 2-hole behind Sylvain. Gee, she was rank. She got right up on top of him. She really was excitable today and really wanted at him. Didn't have earplugs in her. Wanted to, didn't. Mini bit probably next week. I had to move her over to the front end. I moved her over to the front end, and she didn't get soft. She tried 29 seconds, but 2 horses picked her off that I thought probably shouldn't have. She just gets a little lost on the front end. We'll qualify her back again, not next Thursday, but the week after, and get a better line on her, and get her ready to go to Indiana. But just fantastic. Beautiful gate, as always. Beautiful gate. Did her work well. Got beat by 2 horses, but not the end of the world. Very, very happy with what I saw at a Bay Jewel today. 2 minutes and 4/5 last half, 59. Last quarter, 29 and 2, I think. Looked good. Number 6, Cruising with Angus. He might not be the fastest horse because he tried it in 2-2, but he always feels like he's trying so hard, and he just, you know, but there's not a horse in the brown hand here. I'm sitting 6th way out on the outside of the track, coming out of the gate. Everybody's kind of looking to duck, you know. And Jonathan went out there with Yes, and I just gave him his head for a second, and bang, I was right in the 2-hole. He's so quick on his feet. He's like a cat. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this colt this summer. And easily number 6 today. Just really impressive. I was so impressed with what I saw from Cruising with Angus today, and happy to see him do it because he just tried. He's always tried hard and always worked hard to do his work. And happy that it's paying off for yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, for him. Cruising with Angus was tremendous today, and nothing but top marks for him, and very, very happy with what I saw. Just really impressed with the colt's attitude and work ethic today. So easily number 6. Number 5. How did my father said? Mo Better was elusively great today, and I think that's a fair way to put it because he was. I didn't talk to Sylvain after. I went with I went with Sunshine's Finest, who I was really impressed with. And I didn't get to talk to him, and it wasn't until about an hour later somebody said to me, that little Better's Delight Colt went good. Mo Better? Yeah. He said he got jammed up in the last turn. He comes screaming off cover. Just in case you guys are, just for the quick math for you, Mo Better paced his last half in 55-4 today. Last quarter in 27 and a bit. And looked tremendous, apparently. Talked to Sylvain after that, and he said, yeah, Jesus, he was fantastic. He said, moved him, and he just sprinted right to the wire. So Mo Better definitely turned some heads quietly today. I was ahead of him. Didn't turn my head, but people that were watching really noticed Mo Better and should have. By all accounts, mathematically and both by the driver, just an absolutely tremendous mile from Mo Better today and a great outing. So good for him. Number 4, Sunshine Beach, the Sunshine Beach Colt, Sunshine's Finest. Sunshine's Finest was awesome today. Last quarter in 27 seconds flat. Chasing down a Captain Treacherous Colt. Wasn't really chasing him down. He kept me at bay pretty good. But we were scratching on the end of it. And Sunshine's Finest really putting it together. For a horse with a bit of a frail frame, as soon as he starts to put that muscle on, put some weight on, my goodness, this is going to be a creature of an animal. Very impressed with Sunshine's Finest today. Number 3, Twinsburg. I warned you about her. I told you about her. I might not have seen See You in Tuscany coming, but I saw Twinsburg coming. She's been good for about 3 or 4 weeks now. I didn't want to leave with her. I wanted to see what she'd do. I really didn't know. So I just kind of let her saunter out of there. And I'm 7th on the outside, but I didn't want to pull her face off to back her up into the 8-hole. So I just let her sit there. 7th on the outside, 6th on the outside. Of course, nobody pulls. I just kept coming with her. I called on her at the head of the lane, and she smoked them. 27 seconds on 27 and 2, maybe 27 seconds on the end of it. Last half, 56. Out the whole way, first over, and obliterated the bunch she was in with. I don't know who she was in with, but I know one thing. She looks some impressive today. What a beast this thing is turning into. Just a monster of an animal. She raced, she trained, qualified awesome today. Math-wise, great. And from what I can see, sitting behind her on the right line a little bit. Probably her knees are a little bit open and biting at her a bit. No problem. She qualified now. We can probably get her knees done. Put a little polyglycan in her knees and leave her for a week. She was awesome today. Very, very impressed. What a professional she was on the track today. Very happy with Twinsburg. West 52nd goes without saying. We talk a lot about this colt. Jonathan couldn't stop talking about him. Really liked him. Did everything good. The way he drove him was smart too. He was in behind me, and I thought he was going to move him. And then a horse come from off behind him and was coming. I'm like, geez, why didn't he move him? And he kind of slid out onto cover. Just let him saunter along. He moved him over. Moved him right at the halfway down the lane, and he was gone. Just looked awesome. So exactly what we expected from West 52nd. Final quarter in 28 and a bit. Just looked absolutely tremendous. Number 1, obviously, See You in Tuscany. Wow. I actually went back and looked at some videos. I didn't see where that mile came from. They'll fool you. It's a great part about schoolers, you just never know. Guy, Bruce, he had a bunch of shares of See You in Tuscany, and he had them up on the sailboard for the longest time. He said, I missed the first qualifier. I get home, all my shares are gone. Everybody cleaned them out. He said, I would have taken them off, but I missed the qualifier. He said, I get home, clicked on TheStable.ca or TheStable.ca.com. He said, all my shares are gone. Oh, well, he said, whatever. He said, I guess it is what it is. But yeah, everybody, as soon as he went under the wire, everybody's scooping up all these shares. But that's a great thing about the site, that the people can move their stuff around like that. As long as we can get it, I'm going to be careful here. As long as we can get it where we can use it effectively moving forward, that portion of TheStable.ca, that portion of fractional ownership, that unexplored market, if you will, is the future of this industry. And for Bruce, you're shit out of luck. For everybody that beat up on Bruce today, bunch of bullies. Bruce had a rough day at the market. Anyway, See You in Tuscany was tremendous. Everybody on this list, West 52nd, Twinsburg, Sunshine's Finest, Mo Better, Cruising with Angus, Bay Jewel, Maxwell Plum, Majesty Boy, Screaming Hawk, and of course, yes, were all in high gear today. Very impressive. Just to run the whole number for the day off, 18 brought to the qualifiers, 18 qualified, 5 brought to the schoolers, absolutely no mistakes. 23 2-year-olds hit the track at Mohawk today, and everybody did it right. So a big, big day for us following up last night's big night. Just a great week overall. Obviously the number one week of the year for us. I'll be back in a minute with my top 10 overall. A few of the horses that showed up today showed up on this list, but you'll notice there's a lot of horses that didn't go today that are on this list. So top 10 overall might look a little different from top 10 today, but somewhere down the road, the top 10 will be the top 10. And the reason that there's so many horses on here is we got a lot of nice horses. And 18 showed themselves off today. Another 31 on the way soon enough. So back in a minute with your top 10 overall horses at the stable in the eyes of me today, and I'll ruin it again. See You in Tuscany went from total obscurity to number 1 overall today, and he earned it. So top 10 overall. I'll be right back in 1 minute. Well, after a brief nap, I feel better. A little bit better. A little bit better. We've been through the opening video explaining the weekend. Racehorses in Jason's barn, Kevin's barn. We talked about Lawmaker, Cruising in Style, Canally Hanover's Indigo, and I'm going to keep talking about Canally Hanover's as if he's in that top 3 group for now. I'm assuming and hoping we can get him back on the straight and narrow. I talked about the top 10 list for the qualifiers today. Now I'm going to talk about the top 10 overall list. Now this is fair. Fair is fair. Horses that I look at our top. I look at all our horses, all our 54 babies, all of them from top to bottom. Yep. See You in Tuscany, I gave him top 1 billing across the board today because he deserved it. But there's a lot of horses that you and I both know are pretty good horses, and they weren't even here today. White Tiger, finally got him back going on the straight and narrow, I believe. Still goofing around with his head a bit, but we got him hung up where I think he's good. Trained him today. He was fantastic. Linnea, we had to scratch. Oh So Pine, we had to scratch. Just be precautionary. They're not really that sick. I got to the barn this morning. Oh So Pine was ready to go on the trailer. All his gear on, ready to go to Mohawk. Johnny said, geez, you know, that horse coughed a little bit. I said, how much a little bit? 4 or 5 times. I said, eat all his breakfast? Yeah. Take his temperature? Yeah, 100.8. I said, that's too high for standing in the barn. Take the gear off and we're going to scratch him. So that was the extent of both Linnea and Oh So Pine. Just precautionary stuff, but they weren't there today. Maintenance man schooled. I'll talk about those guys in a minute. I think I'll wait and talk about them overall, just so you can get a picture, a feel for them. There were schoolers today, the qualifiers. Nobody knew. We schooled 5 horses after the qualifiers. Maintenance man was tremendously good. Buckingham was great. Dance Hall Babe, awesome. And Timel Houdini took the hobbles off him. Awesome. And Friggin' Biggin was there also, and he was great also. All 5 of our schoolers and all 18 that we qualified did everything perfect today. People say, oh, that's awesome. What are the odds? The odds are always good. We train these horses to act like professionals. We train them hard. We put the foundation into them. And the vast majority of them you're going to see do exactly what they did today. Everything right. Maybe not the fastest horses, but good. Because we can't ask them to be better than everybody else, but we can ask them to be smarter than everybody else. You got to show them the way, teach them how to do their job right, expect them to behave and do things well. More times than not, they will. So that's what you saw today, was the fruits of our labor, as they say. So we're going to go with our top 10 overall. These are the top 10 horses that I believe are our best horses in the barn right now, in my mind. Now, again, we'll use that disclaimer. See You in Tuscany was not on anybody's radar leading up to today, so it doesn't even matter what I think. It's what happens when they hit the gate. When they see that gate, what they decide they want to be. So top 10 overall, number 10, Springbridge Proud. This horse looked awesome today. He's brushing at his knee. Around the last turn, I thought he was going to win in about 56. Moved him over to head of lane, and he scrubbed at his knee a little bit, and he got out of gear, and he kind of powered down. I think if we shoe him a little bit differently, I was talking to the blacksmith about it today. I believe we can get this horse at least where he just brushes his knee once in a while. He doesn't come right at it and club it, but he does scrub on it. So I think it's fixable. It's fixable, and we're going to try and get at that this week. This horse paced 57-4 last quarter and 27-1 last half, 56. Very impressive mile mathematically in his own right, and wants to do it. We're going to give him the opportunity to do that again in a week's time. Number 9, Warwe Ultra. Warwe Ultra schooled as good as any horse could school 10 days ago. She trained good all week. She trained good again today. And she is going to be going behind the gate Thursday morning. So this week coming up, North American Cup's on Saturday. Nothing goes on Saturday. Thursday and Friday is when the qualifiers are this week. Thursday, we'll be going with Warwe Ultra in the morning. And she's been tremendous. So really excited and looking forward to seeing that filly strutter stuff this coming Thursday morning. Number 8, White Tiger. Could have moved him all the way up closer to 1. The way I saw him train today looked awesome. The only problem is he trots just as good without hobbles on. I trained him without hobbles. I don't trust him without the hobbles just yet. So he'll probably qualify with them on. I'd say there's about a 30% chance he won't. We'll see how he goes all week before I make up my mind. But he was awesome this morning training at the farm. Number 7, Twinsburg. Easily could have been listed anywhere in there. Looked awesome today. Last quarter, 27 seconds. Go back and watch the video of this filly. I never did duck her down to the rail. I just sat her out there and let her float along. Called on her at the head of the lane, and she laid waste to them. Looked awesome doing it. Just a really nice, turned into a tremendous filly. 2 horses on this list that exploded out of nowhere. Obviously, See You in Tuscany was in absolute obscurity until today. And Twinsburg, just up until maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, she was nowhere to be found. So 2 horses that have really, really come to life as of late. Twinsburg, number 7, number 6, Oh So Pine goes without saying. I have very high hopes for this horse. I think he's got an abundance of talent, wants to do his work, just a nice horse all around. So for me, Oh So Pine, again, another horse. We'll see how this virus progresses. I can't say that he'll be there next Thursday, but we'll see. We'll take his blood maybe Tuesday and see what it says. That was the deciding factor in Linnea's scratch, was she scoped clean. We scoped her yesterday to make sure her blood come back, and there was a couple of levels that were a little screwed up. Her white count levels were a little bit high, and the breakdown of her white count was a little off also. So a little something going on there. We'll be watching Oh So Pine closely. He may go Thursday, he may wait a week. Number 5, Maintenance Man. Now, I was going to talk about Maintenance Man in the rundown, but since he is on the list, him and Houdini and Dance Hall Babe, I'll give you a little shake-up of what took place today. I told Jody Jameson was going with him. And I said to Jody, this colt sees everything. I said, just put him in the middle of the pack and make him pace on the end of it. I said, he's ready to go, but he's a little softer than these other horses. We took it easy on him. I said, so make him pace on the end of it. He went a mile in 58 and a bit, 59, last quarter in 27. Last half from where I was standing was 55 and a bit. Not standing, I was sitting. Was 55 and a bit for Maintenance Man. Really looked good. Now, I said to Jody after, was he awesome, really good, or just so-so? He said somewhere between awesome and really good. He said he's coming. If you told me he wasn't like that last week, I'd say it was a huge improvement. So Jody's going to stay on him. I'm going to list him on him next week when we go to the qualifiers on Friday. So the pacer. Oh, no, sorry. No, that's right. Friday will be the pacer. So he'll be going on Friday. Number 4, Time Al Houdini. So Time Al Houdini's wore the hobbles for a long, long time. Warmed him up today. Harry Polt went with him and said, I don't know why you need hobbles on this horse. I said, okay, take them off. So he didn't wear them. James and I got away at the back. They'd one schooler, all the pacers and trotters together. There was about 8, maybe 9. James and I got away last with Dance Hall Babe and Time Al Houdini. He was behind me, and he beat me at the wire. But we were flat out trotting, flying on the end of it. We trotted our own last half in 57. We were quite a ways back, but there was some pacers we went by down the lane, and both those trotters looked tremendous. Easily Time Al Houdini. I knew this horse was coming. I was a little surprised he went that good without hobbles on. So really happy to see that. Time Al Houdini easily number 4. Leads into number 3, 2, and 1. Number 3, Linnea. Scratched today, but come on. Give the filly a break. She's looked awesome. She's looked tremendous. She schooled in 2 minutes, come 27 and a piece. 10 days ago. There's no concerns with Linnea. I trained her this week. She just feels like a bulldog. She feels how she looks on the track. So certainly no concerns there. Absolutely deserves to be in the top 3. Drives right into number 3. Number 2 was our number 1 last week, Dance Hall Babe. I think you understand why. I think that goes without saying. Dance Hall Babe is the opposite of an Angus Hall. Went up to the gate. She can get a little grabby, but when she settles, my God, she got a nice mouth on her. Very quiet and gentle. Went up to the gate, took her back, no problem whatsoever. Got away 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever. James got away behind me, sat there the whole way, passed a pacer in the last turn, trotted hard down the lane. Now, Houdini's a nice colt. He sat behind me, and he vaulted past me at the wire, jumped on me late in the mile. But we won a mile 2-2 off half and 5. Very, very impressed with Dance Hall Babe. I said last week I made the case why I thought she was number 1. Here's a filly that looks like a good horse. Big, strong, good-looking, gorgeous filly. Fast, moves like a pacer, and is durable. And as she packs that muscle on behind, you're going to see her get faster and faster and faster and faster. 2-2 today is only tip of the iceberg. This filly's one of them ones where after about 5 or 6 fast miles, you'll really see her turn on. So for me, Dance Hall Babe easily number 2. Number 1 on my list, number 1 on everybody's list after today's shocking video was See You in Tuscany. Pretty hard not to put this horse in number 1. Half in 55-1. By himself, watch the video. I don't call on this horse at all. Tap the wheel disc coming out of the last turn. Chirped to him halfway down the lane. But at no point did the whip ever brush over his rump. This colt was flying down the lane all by himself. I don't know how fast he could have went, but I know he had lots left in the tank. So for me, See You in Tuscany, I have no idea where the mile came from, but as I said, and I've said it all winter, really don't know until their nose touches the gate. At that point, you can tell. This horse going to try, is this horse going to struggle, is this horse going to be good or bad or otherwise? See You in Tuscany is a racehorse, and he's legit. So, now you have it. Top 10 from today, top 10 overall. Be back in a minute, and we're going to talk about all the horses. Going to quick rundown. I mean, I give you the same thing every week about these horses. There's a little bit of a variation. Ben clicks back. Amy's here now. A little bit of a variation, but mostly you see this time of year, the last 3 videos, we're all going to talk about the same things, the tendencies, the things we want to see from the horses, what we did or didn't see. These are the types of things. We're back in a minute. Give you the top 54, I guess. Run down them all. Take care.